I gave you guys a fair opportunity to decide the fate of the Spotlight review this week when it comes to what exactly it is you wanted to see here. Well, you picked Transformers, so we're going with a big one. It's Leader Optimus Prime from Earthrise. Let's get to it! So like I said, and now that we got the introduction out of the way, this is Earthrise, Leader Optimus Prime from the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy. But before we take a look at this Generation 1 reincarnation, let's go ahead and take a look at his packaging. As for take of every single video review on this channel, up close in your face. So here's the front of the packaging. It's got Optimus Prime's name. It's got a bunch of Cybertronian text all over the place, and I'm not going to bother trying to read any of it. It says Earthrise, War for Cybertron Trilogy, HSN Plus, Hasbro's logo. Up to the top we got the Cartel Me logo, and down below that we got the Misaligned Generations logo. And there it says Transformers. There's some nice artwork of Optimus Prime here on the side. And here's that lovely image of Earthrise with the authentic Transformers logo down below that. And once again, Earthrise War for Cybertron Trilogy. Do mind the glare, but on the back of the packaging we do have a nice look at both truck mode, the Earth truck mode, and robot mode for Optimus Prime with 35 steps of transformation and vice versa. Here's what looks to be the repair bay for Optimus Prime. Yes, his trailer does open up and convert into such a thing. Here's another look at it from a different angle. And here's a little feature of the matrix that is stored within Optimus Prime, and we'll get to that shortly. Here's the barcode on the back of the packaging, so in case you're still on the hunt, be my guest, have a look at that. At the very bottom of the packaging, we have another authentic Transformers logo, which, to remind you, if it doesn't say authentic, it's a knockoff. Alright, that's going to do it for the packaging. Let's go ahead and remove it. Now let's take a look at some contents from within, starting with this nice looking backdrop. Alright, so the gimmick here with the packaging, or should I say the inside with these backdrops, is that they have these hidden messages somewhere around this base. And unfortunately with Starscreams I could never find the thing, but maybe with Optimus Prime we might have a little bit of hope here. If I can ever get the thing open. God, it's like trying to break into Fort Knox. Right, quick jump cut, and here we have our little red decoder here. Let's see if we can get anything on here. It's pretty dark. I'm not so sure why this is coming out like this, but I might be able to see something. Yeah, there's actually something right there. Yeah, I mean, at least I finally found one. Now let's get to the basis, where it's just basically your set of instructions for Optimus Prime. You've got that. We don't need to see it. And we also have this little slip of multi-languages of warning, choking hazard, all that kind of stuff. Here he is, Optimus Prime, Generation 1 Optimus Prime, redone in a modern take. And quite a difference when compared to the original, which unfortunately I do not have. I do not own the G1 Optimus Prime figure, never have, and never will. With that said, we do have some nice special features here. When it comes to modernizing our Generation 1 Transformer figures, Hasbro likes to go in the approach of giving as much detail on these figures. And, you know, for the price point of almost 50 bucks, yeah, I mean, I would expect a lot of detail. I mean, look at all this panel work here going on. Look at that. It is so magnificent. And the painted areas that are actually done in clear plastic, the color of the red actually blends in pretty well with the actual color of the plastic. So we do have some tanks here on the sides. As you can see, it's also given that these are actually the back bits of his legs. Got some highlights of silver down here for the wheel wells. We do have some painted wheels, which are actually done in gray plastic, just painted over in black. These are actually molded in black plastic, but they are actually painted for the hubcaps in silver, which is a nice touch. You cannot see any of the inside details going on because it's actually painted over in blue, and that is not on the outside, it's actually on the inside of this clear plastic. The headlights are actually painted in silver, and they are covered up in a very nice translucent blue, which really makes it pop no matter what angle you actually are looking at this figure. And yes, we do have weapon storage in the back here for his ion blaster, which if you do remove it, you've got a little bit of a gap going on here. We also have a trailer hitch right here for, yes, this trailer. Optimus Prime finally comes with a trailer for the Chug line. I am very happy about that. This is a very nice trailer, I'll give him that. But when it comes to play value, there really isn't that much to go by. So what we have here on the outside is just a little bit of some paint work here just to break up all this dull gray plastic, which is really the main thing about this trailer here, because there's a lot of gray plastic on here. So we've got this nice sky blue color stripe going on here with a very nice Autobot symbol right here on this side and on this side as well. And I know it's very hard to see, but it is actually highlighted in silver, which kind of actually blends in with the dull gray. So if you actually shine it in the light, you can see the reflection. There is a little bit of a difference there, but we do have some unpainted tail lights for the back of the trailer. It would have been nice if these would have actually been just normal doors where it can just slide open and you can put like deluxe figures or maybe scout class figures or legends as they're called these days inside here. But as it is, you can't, unfortunately. We do have this piece here that does come down to allow this trailer to stand up on its own, because without it, that's what you get. And as you can see, we do have the little peg piece that's gonna go right into the hole in the back of the trailer hitch for Optimus Prime. Just gotta line it up right, failing on camera of course. But there you go, that's your look at Optimus Prime with his trailer. And if you got his ion blaster detached from the cab, you actually do have quite the range of movement here for making it look like he's making a left turn or a right turn, and the trailer is actually corresponding. Okay, so there's not much else to go off here with this mode. So what do you say we go ahead and do a side-by-side comparisons with the previous Chug Optimus Prime from the War for Cybertron trilogy, Siege. Here is that Optimus Prime in his Cybertronian Truck mode, and you can see quite the difference here for what seems to be an extensive retooling, and I mean very extensive. So here's a good look at the front of both trucks. Here's a good look at both sides. And here's a good look at the back of both figures. Here's one last look at the opposite side. And here's a look at the top. And as you can see, the Siege one is actually a little longer. Both Voyager classes, and I think they're both in the right scale with one another. Sure, there'll be a lot more beef with a Cybertronian Optimus Prime when compared to what is a copy and paste from an Earth truck. The way I like to start off the transformation is just go ahead and flip in the tanks at the bottom. That's gonna fill in the back of his legs. Then we'll go ahead and open up his feet and his heel spurs, like so. What we can do then is we can just mess around with the front here by separating the wheels, like that. Then we can open up this panel here and bring that all the way to the front on both ends. Pretty much the same deal right here. We're going to copy and paste from the previous step, like so. And once that is done, we can slide out the obvious arms. Once that is all taken care of, let's go ahead and move to the back here, where we're going to open up this panel here and go ahead and flip out Optimus Prime's head. If you don't, you're going to have complications later. Let's go ahead and bring this back up. There's a tab right there. It's going to go into a slot in the back of his head. Let's grab the lower bumper section here, and we're going to pull it away from this section here. So we've got clearance now to rotate the entire waist section 180. Then we can come back here and grab the back section of his waist, and we will bring those pieces together like so. With that out of the way, we can flip the entire front bumper back like this, and then we can bring these around like so. Go ahead and swing down his legs and separate them from one another. Now, one thing that you want to do is take caution in this area, because when it comes to these panels right here for his chest, they have a tendency to show a little bit of some stress if you are not careful with the way you actually transform this guy. What you want to do is put a little bit of some extra force in right here where my thumbs are at, and push down in order to get this part to flip perfectly. So with that now up in the air, we can take the side windows from the truck and bring those in, and then we'll take these side pieces here and do the same thing like so. Separate these two halves and fold this all the way back. There are two tabs that are going to go into two slots back here, just like that. Then we can take this entire section and carefully swing it around like this. And what you want to do now is, once again, go in the opposite way when it comes to these areas right here, because there's hardly any clearance for these actually to go all the way up the way they are supposed to. So what you want to do is just apply a little bit of force here and be very careful in this area, because you also want to take your thumbnail and kind of grip right here and bring that in like so. As you can see, it's made it above where it's supposed to be. It lines up just fine, as opposed to this side right here, which gives me a lot of trouble. But again, it's a clearance issue in the way that this figure is executed. But with a little time and patience here, you can actually get this to come all the way up like it's supposed to with no issues. When that's done, there are two tabs right here that's gonna go into these two slots right here in the chest, like so. Go ahead and open up this panel here on his forearm and flip out his hands. Easier said than done, as long as you have fingernails. After repositioning the camera, here we are with Optimus Prime in his robot mode. Magnificent figure, might I add. This definitely screams Generation 1. It harkens back to the Generation 1 era. Not toy-wise, but going by the cartoon, it's pretty accurate as it comes. It does have a bit of a cheat, a little bit of some hindrance here. As you can see, we've got some we got some vehicle kibble in the back here, but what exactly were they supposed to do with this, as opposed to what they did with Siege Optimus Prime? So let's talk about some running changes with this figure. As opposed to what was shown with the prototype, which he had yellow eyes, they decided to give him his nice bright blue eyes, which are very difficult to see because they didn't actually paint the face. It should have been painted in silver. And switching out the head with Siege Optimus Prime is a no-go, because even though they are the exact same mold, they are not the exact same color with one another. The plastic on this Optimus Prime, when it comes to the blue, is very vibrant as opposed to the Siege one. So it looks weird. I've already tested that and it did not look good. Another change that they did is his hands were actually gray for the prototype, and when the final release was revealed, it's actually a metallic blue. We got some nice panel work here for the grills, looks very nice. Pretty clean paint job. There's a little bit of some sloppiness here on the side around the trimming for the silver paint work. And in my opinion, I feel that this region here could have used another touch of yellow. I don't think it's enough. And as I mentioned earlier, those tank pieces in the truck mode really do store nicely in the back, and they are not an eyesore. Sure, it's a difference in color here, since this is actually painted in a very nice silver and the rest is this gray plastic here. But from the front, you're not going to notice it at all. Optimus Prime's legs have gone for a little bit of some re-engineering here. We do not have the ability to actually turn these around and store most of the wheels in the legs. But it's okay, as most of the time in artwork for Optimus Prime, like from IDW, the wheels on his legs were actually visible. Let's go through the articulation on Optimus Prime here. He does have a ball joint at the head, with a hinge joint for inward and outward movement here at the arms. It does have a complete 360 rotation there. There's a bicep swivel cut, single jointed elbows that does get 9 degrees of bend. Wrist rotates. He has articulated fingers, even though they're all sculpted in one piece here. It's nice to see that there's a hinge for a little bit of some more dynamic posing in this area. And you do have a waist swivel cut on the figure. This figure has some very tight hip joints, but you can get this much kicking forward, that much going back. And yes, you can pull off a complete JCVD split. There's your seal quality, people. We have a thigh swivel cut around this area. Optimus Prime sports single jointed knees, but he does have full range. His feet can move up and down due to transformation. Same goes for his heel spurs as well, even though they're pretty tight on my figure. And finally, he does have some nice ankle rocker movement. As for the ion blaster that Optimus Prime comes with, there are some options here, and options are good. We do have a peg right here that sticks out if you want to store this in the back here, like so, just in case he's not wielding it. Or you have the option to actually store it this way, but it sticks out quite a bit. As you can see, there is quite the difference. You also have your ports here, which are common with the War for Cybertron figures so far. You can stick it in like that if you want, or you can stick it right here in his smokestacks. What I like to do is transform the gun, like so, and just stick it right into his hands as if he's combat ready against Megatron and the Decepticons. And as you can see, I got his hands completely open and he's holding this with no problems, as this is actually sculpted to really securely hold this in place. And yes, you still have the ability to rotate the wrists even with the Ion Blaster completely in his hands. The past meets the present with Siege Optimus Prime versus Earthrise Optimus Prime. The exact same figures with some really nice retooling for this one to give him more of a Generation 1 comparisons in actual comparisons with what we were given with the Cybertronian mode. So as you can see, we got some very nice retooling here, which does give this Optimus Prime a little bit of some more leg than he actually really needs. I'm sure the challenge was actually executing this figure from the blueprints perfectly, and I can understand where the complications can actually be here, and I'm accepting it. It really isn't that much of an eyesore here. So trying to bring both figures in so you can see there is a difference in the color of the blues of the figure, so that's the reason why I couldn't swap the heads, even though they are exactly one and the same. And here's a good look at the chest section on both figures. Here's the waist area. Here's a good look at both of the legs with some combat damage on this one when compared to a very nicely clean figure. Optimus Prime sports some silver here on his legs for the Earthrise compared to the Siege one, which is just the dull gray plastic. Here's a good look at the side of the figure and from the top as well. And here's a look at the back of both figures with a nice clean transformation going on with this Optimus Prime, minus of course the wheels here. But as you can see, we've got a very big cape, I guess you could say, for the Siege Optimus Prime, which I really didn't mind. One of the coolest things that I really love about this Optimus Prime here is the feature, the true feature that really every Optimus Prime figure should have. We open up this chest compartment on the Siege Optimus Prime. We're left with nothing but a hollow gap here where you can actually store his head in for his vehicle form. But in this area here for this Optimus Prime, if we open up these panels here, we have some nice detailing that's done in a very nice silver paintwork with, of course, the included Autobot matrix of leadership, which is actually removable. So once the matrix is removed, you can actually see that it is done in a very lovely clear blue plastic, just painted over for the handle and the silver. And then of course the core bit itself here, or the shell, is done in that nice kind of yellowish orange color, which, you know, definitely harkens back to the Generation 1 movie. And even though this Optimus Prime cannot hold the Matrix with both hands, he still has the option to actually wield the Matrix with one hand, thanks to the open fingers. So I don't want to lose this piece because it is very small. So we'll just go ahead and put that back in, close these panels back up, push them together to seal it rather than having that little gap there. Like so. One last comparison in this video review, here is Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime compared to the previously reviewed Earthrise Voyager Class Starscream. And now we can finally get to the last entry into this video review, and that is the trailer. We've already gone through the basics in the truck mode portion of this video review, but let's go ahead and take a look at what is offered here for this bad boy when you transform it. It's a simple conversion, just like the Generation 1 version. You just swing out the sides like so, and there you go. That's pretty much it. I mean, you can also fold this down for a ramp if you want, but what you're really supposed to do with this bit here is remove it, because this is actually a shield for Optimus Prime, which you can actually store via this port right here on his forearm, to the left or the right, it doesn't really matter. And yeah, Optimus Prime's got a little bit of some protection when he goes up against Megatron. But if you don't want to do that, options, again, you can slide this back in and be done with it. So taking a look at the base here for Optimus Prime, or his repair bay, whichever one you want to call it, it does have a lot of engineering here. Lots of details, so much panel work. so crazy, so Cybertronian looking, so mechanical, robotic, whatever you want to call it. It's robust. I love it. One problem that I've got with this set is that there's no roller to go with this. Maybe third party could step in and help us out here, maybe? Huh? But if anything else, we do actually have that little repair robot here, which we can actually swing out on these double hinges here and swing down the arms. And it does have a little bit of articulation here via the ball joints at the shoulders, but nothing at the elbow, so it's always going to be in this position. But if you wanted working on Optimus Prime as if he got battle damaged by Megatron in their last encounter, you have options there. Or maybe Optimus Prime's feeling a little funky here and maybe he just wants to help out the Decepticons. I don't know why he would, but hey, I mean it's something. So yeah, it is a solid gray plastic here with the arms being done in a much darker gray plastic, and the original used to have firing missiles. This is just some open holes, and you could stick like those blast effect pieces that come with the War for Cybertron figures in there if you want. It does have also a swivel here, so it does rotate. It can move up and down, all that. It can move back pretty far as well. You got a peg here where it actually can have maybe, I don't know, one of the Battlemaster's peg in somewhere around here, or maybe you could have Optimus Prime standing on it because he does have some holes at the bottom of his feet. But yeah, when it really comes to this area, it is a little bit of a disappointment. You know, I'm just going to be honest here. I was expecting some color, even though the prototype really did show that this robot here was actually supposed to be painted up in blue. You can see, like I said originally in this video, this whole entire trailer is nothing but gray plastic. But to convert this back to a trailer, it's simple. But the first thing you want to do is actually make sure that the door is actually flipped up all the way, because you can't actually close this up here. This cannot be closed first and then bring this up, because it just doesn't have enough clearance. And you can see there's actually little tabs on both sides here. So obviously the tabs are going to go into a slot on the side right here and here of the top of the trailer. So we just got to line everything up right and tab this all together very securely. And there we have the spotlight review on Transformers Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. Your opinions are your own, so feel free to leave them down below in the comment section of the video if you like. Any questions, and I will answer them whenever I get time. So if you enjoyed today's video review, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to give me a sub up. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. Don't forget to throw in the towel. And until next time, my friends, this is your unprofessional toy reviewer, Res Power, signing off, saying thank you very much for watching this, and I will see you whenever you see me.